O-line situation you've had.
Mhm.
How did the first unit adapt to, kind of still switching O-linemen around?
Yeah, we've had to mix and match a lot of different areas to this point in spring. We've had some sickness, and have some guys out with injury, and finally getting some guys back, but we also lost a couple more. So it's always one of those things. But you know what? I love it. Thankfully it's spring and not fall, and we were able to get some more guys some reps. And the hardest thing, and I've been saying this, the hardest thing with that is just the continuity up front. You want to get used to playing next to a guy. But again, we're building a lot of depth. Those guys are working extremely hard, playing a lot of different positions. And so that's where it's going to pay off when we're really needing it in the fall.
How much can like a Clinton catch up this late in the spring and get in some work?
Yeah, Shane's a guy that, he knows what we're doing. It's really just a matter of, knocking the rust off. And, he missed some time and, just knocking the rust off and getting back to his fundamentals and getting back to, what we're trying to ask him to do. And he's doing a fine job. Again, he missed so much time that, he's got to get back in there and knock that rust off.
It's certainly part of football. How's the staff that you avoid getting frustrated not having really a full offensive line since you walked on campus?
Avoid getting frustrated. It's hard because I'm still frustrated. But no, it's hard. Wherever you're at, you're always going to have guys that are going to get banged up. You're going to have guys that are going to miss. And so again, you're trying to find that continuity, find those guys that are going to be playing for you, and try to get them out there with the guys, especially like running backs right now. We're very depleted at that position. So, there were some holes there today that, we missed. And you hope that when we get some guys back, that healthy, that, they'll hit those holes. So it's frustrating, but, again, it's spring ball, and that, hey, it's frustrating not getting, to win, but, hey, we're getting better, and we're working, got new guys in there and getting them reps.
I guess you guys had about 140 plays or something like that. Is that about right?
Yeah, we scripted a bunch yesterday. I want to say we scripted about 160, and I think we cut some out. So I think this was, by design, one of the biggest scrimmages we'll have.
Any big plays, and also, I'm sure there were some, but John Stephen Jones, Chad said that his best day was today.
Yeah, he did some really good things, John Stephen, and he missed a couple throws, but I know he wants back, just some easy ones. But he also made some really good ones as well. But he did some really good things. The explosive plays, I think, we had it wasn't a play call, it was scripted. We had a good play into a pressure they brought, and we're able to hat it up. Our offensive line did a really nice job. Chase was able to find the big hole there and go ahead and put it in the end zone. That was a play that stood out to me. I'm sure there was others, but the only one I can remember was the very last one. We ended on a positive note. Trey Knox went up and made a play in the end zone, but that's all ones I can remember. We'll go grade it and see if there's any more.
What were your top takeaways, though? What did you make of today? And was that touchdown to Knox, was that from Hicks?
I think it was Ben in there. Top takeaways, I thought our first scrimmage, our first Saturday when we came in here, we talked about it being a beautiful day. That was a better practice for us. I thought today was just okay. It wasn't bad. Again, I think there were some holes there that we missed with some, walk-on running backs in there. But, overall, I thought today was okay. Definitely wasn't as good as the first one. But again, mix and matching the offensive line and doing those things, and got some guys banged up. I think you can probably, chalk that up to a little bit of that. But our guys are working hard. They're bringing a ton of energy every single day. That's one thing I've been, very pleased with. We're not having to pull teeth out there. It's those guys are coming to work every day. They're punching the clock, and, we're getting good work in. So, it's not about winning spring for us. It's about us getting better. That's what we decided, before we even started. We want to get better. We want to get better at the base plays of our offense. Make sure that whatever look we get, we know what we're doing, and we're on the same page. So that's what it's about for us. And I'm really pleased at this point, going into the last week of where we're at, and guys learning what to do, and seeing a bunch of different looks and getting those things hatted up.
Chad said there was no turnovers today. So can you speak to you know, because I think some of the days you didn't get the belt because of turnovers.
Yeah, we did a good job of protecting the ball for the most part. There were some opportunities for the defensive guys to make a play. I'm sure Chief will talk about that, but there were some opportunities that could have been made where the defense made a good play and just didn't make the play. They were in the right spot, just didn't make the play. So we got to continue to get better at that. We didn't have any fumbles, which I think that Saturday, the first Saturday practice, is why we didn't get it there. But again, those were some walk-on guys out there that were fumbling. But anyway, it's about taking care of the football, and that's something we got to celebrate and be positive about for sure.
Coach, Cunningham played a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What have you seen from him, say, especially maybe in the 2 weeks in spring break, as far as growth of knowing what y'all are doing and his ability level?
Yeah, I mean, he's everything we thought he would be in recruiting. He's come in here and done a really good job of, buying in. It's been an easy buy-in for him. He's really studied and learned, and we moved him inside a little bit this past week to see what he could do, and it was very impressive, early on. It didn't take long for him to kind of catch on to what we were doing. Then it was just kind of, it's a different position, so the intricate details of angles and doing things with his feet a little bit different was something that he was, really working on. I know, I think today, he moved back out to left tackle with Colton being out. But he's done a really good job. I was just talking to Dalton Wagner in the back room, and he's been a really good addition to our room, to that O-line room, and really bringing some competition to that room and really working hard. Again, we're trying to find our best five and get those guys on the field any way we can.
The words on the cones that you guys had in the stretch lines, where did that come from, and is that something that's been constant for each coach throughout the spring, or is that changed up, or is that something?
That was something that Coach Morris decided to do. One of the things we talked about before spring started was we wanted to be a closer group and a closer family, the whole team. And if you noticed, I don't have a single quarterback in my family. We call it the Pride family is my family. And each coach has their own group of family members. My guys are Bumper Pool, David Porter, Devin Bush, Corlin Jackson. I can name a couple more, but those Connor Limpert, those guys. I don't have anybody that I'm normally around every day, and that's something that we wanted to get to know other guys in other position groups. I think it's been awesome. I'm getting to talk to Bumper Pool before the practice, and Devin and Connor and those guys and Coylan. So it's been really cool to get to know somebody else, but also it's made us a closer group as a unit, the whole team. But Coach Morris assigned the word for each team or for each family, and mine's the Pride family. So it's been really cool to be around those guys every day, and that's kind of how we take a role every day when we come into the team meeting. We all sit together as a family. I get to ask, Peyton Osley how his day's been, or Bumper or Mike Woods or whoever. So it's been really, really cool to get to know other guys on the team.
Obviously, Trey Knox and Shamar Nass were able to get in here in January. What kind of different dimensions do they bring to the team, and just how's their camp going? How's it help him from being here so early?
Yeah, well, I always say if you're a mid-year guy, you get a head start on a lot of things. Number one, you get a head start on academics, kind of learning how college goes. It's kind of tough on those guys early on because there's not a huge group of guys. But this year we were blessed and I think brought in 10 or 11 guys mid-year, so they were all kind of together. I know when Ben first got to SMU, he was the only one, and he struggled. But you get to learn what academics are all about, going to class, going to tutors, kind of learning the college life, and so those guys have bought in. They've done a really good job. One of the things that I think all of our freshmen have done a really good job on is, they're staying off list. They're going and being where they're supposed to be, and they get a leg up on academics. Number two, they get a leg up in the weight room. They get an extra 5-6 months on the other freshmen where they're in the weight room and they're getting bigger, stronger. and they're working and learning the Olympic lifts. And a lot of high schools these days don't do a lot of power cleaning. You know, we do. And so, you know, learning those techniques and being able to work them, they're getting a little bit of a head start. But and then finally football, you know, they're able to learn the plays, you know, get in the playbook a lot earlier. Obviously, the reps they get on the field are very valuable for them, you know, because, you know, usually in the spring you're down with graduation and things of that nature. You know, you're down in numbers. So to get those guys in here and get more reps than they would if they weren't here, obviously. But obviously when we start fall camp too, there'll be more guys out there. So, you know, those are all valuable reps for those guys, Shamar and Trey. And they're learning. You know, at first their head was spinning a little bit, but they've kind of settled in and got through that freshman wall, and they, you know, approach every day about getting better. And one thing I like about both those guys is they're both very, they're hard on themselves. You know, they want to be really good. They want to be special. And when they don't make a play, they get down on themselves a little bit. But you know what? That's okay, because you're just a freshman. You should be going to your prom next week. So I tell them all the time. So, you know, just keep working, keep getting better. You know, move on to the next play. If you don't do very well on one play, that's fine. Win the next play. And so those guys are getting a lot of valuable reps and a lot of good information early on as mid-year guys.
On the family deal, when did that start exactly? Is it completely random, like names out of a hat? And will it rotate? And if it rotates, how often will it rotate?
You know, I'm not sure if Coach will rotate it or not. That started when we were in off-season drills. We started stretching that way. There wasn't a whole lot of other time besides just kind of stretch lines. You know, the first day was an early morning mat drill. We did it in. You know, we divided it up. Coach Morris had already divided it up. We went to a team meeting, kind of said, okay, here's your family, here's who you'll be with, here's your coach that you'll work with. And we did it that next morning. And, you know, that was something that, you know, Coach Morris has felt like we weren't as a team, we weren't very close. I think he got some feedback from some seniors, and just, you know, those guys wanted to, you know, maybe a D lineman wanted to get to know me better. You know, that I don't get to see him a whole lot. I'm not in his meeting, or, you know, if we have an offensive team meeting, that D lineman's not a part of it. So, you know, he really challenged it. What I did was I took my team and I went online and actually printed out everybody's bio and tried to learn their mom's name, their dad's name, if they had any brothers and sisters, where are they from, you know, all those kind of things. And I think that, you know, that's made us a closer group. And I don't know if we'll switch it. I know Coach has done different things about, like, you know, in a locker room, you know, usually the quarterbacks and receivers and everybody kind of sits together in the locker room. I know at times we've, you know, switched that up as well. And so you always have to learn somebody new on the team and not just kind of click up and be with your guys all the time. You got to learn, if you're a quarterback, you're learning linebacker, or you're learning a safety. And so I think it's been really good. I think it's going to obviously help us come together as one and be a team. Thanks, guys.